Good afternoon. My name is Madison Ward, and I'm doing an assignment for COH 100. Today, we are going over essential skills and traits that social workers need to have. And I went through the list of all 10 and rated myself on each, how well I think I am on each factor. When I was going through them, though, I will say I was applying them as to how I am at work now. Currently, I'm a shift leader at the Panda Express here in Muncie, and so I have like a position of management where I oversee some people, they listen to me, and I tell them what to do. So I related everything to that instead of like, obviously I don't have social work experience, so I couldn't do that instead. As for empathy, I gave myself a 7. I would like to think that I'm a pretty empathetic person, but there's sometimes where I'm too fast to judge, I've noticed, and that's something I've been trying to improve on, especially within recent times. As for communication, I gave myself an 8 because, once again, I would like to think that I can communicate things greatly to my coworkers, my friends, my professors, whoever it may be. However, I've noticed at times when I'm working, there's times where I don't want to say the wrong thing, so I don't exactly convey myself as much as I would like to. Like, for example, I have a situation at work currently where I've been trying to work with a certain worker just about being better. She's been dealing with issues at work, and I feel like I haven't been able to convey to her, I guess, the depth of this situation because I don't want to hurt her feelings, and so I have to figure out a way on how to word that without hurting her feelings. For organization, I gave myself an 8. I think I'm pretty organized. There's just like sometimes it only has to make sense to me if I have something set up a certain way, and it might look a mess from the outside, but that's just how it is for me. For critical thinking, I gave myself a 9. I don't want to seem a little too over the top here, but I would like to think I have pretty good critical thinking skills. Once again, that's just something I feel as if I'm under a lot of pressure and I need to make a decision in the moment, then a little bit of critical thinking might go out the window, but I can still maintain it pretty well. For active listening, I gave myself a 7. There's been times where I'll listen, and if somebody's going on and on, sometimes I can only pull out one thing from what they said, and that's what I'll bring up, and I'll not forget the rest, but I'm not actively in that moment thinking about it or using it towards the conversation. As for self-care, I gave myself a 5, which I really, really have been trying to improve on. It's just I have to balance school, working full-time. I feel like I don't have a lot of time to take care of myself. I would like to get into the gym more. I would like to be able to cook things more for myself, make better eating decisions, but sometimes I just do not find the time of day to do that. As for cultural competence, I rated myself a 7 because I have put in a lot of research over the years just looking into other things. I've worked and been friends with a very wide demographic of people, and I like to hear their stories, and I like to know what's going on in their lives, how their cultural norms are different from mine, and how they relate to each other as well. But then again, I can still always improve on that. I don't think that score will get a lot higher in years just because I think that is a field that you can always be learning in. As long as you're making that effort, though, I think that's a very good thing. As for patience, I gave myself a 4. I'm not a very patient person, and when I want something done, I want it done right then and there. For professional commitment, I gave myself a 6 because this specific trait said it was a professional commitment to maintaining the social worker's code of ethics, and while I can't relate to that because I'm not a social worker, nor do I want to be, I still have very much a professional commitment to maintaining the code of ethics within my journalism major, or just maintaining, we don't have a set code of ethics at my job or anything, but there's rules that you have to apply to, and you just inherently know that, and I would like to apply myself to them very well. Advocacy, I gave myself a 10. I think that I'm a big advocate, I advocate a lot for basic human rights, stuff like feminism issues, issues that are going on right now with ICE in Minnesota and everything. I feel like I am always speaking out about those things, so I gave myself a 10 on the advocacy scale. But going through my weakest, middle, and strongest traits, patience was clearly my worst trait. I definitely have to work on those. I rated it like this, as I said, if I want something, I want it done right then and there, and if I see somebody, say I assign them a task at work, and I see them going off and maybe doing something else first, I get a little angry, and I have to ask them, be like, okay, well, why aren't you doing this yet? Especially if there's not a valid excuse. If there's a valid excuse, okay, I understand that, but yeah. I really need to work on that one, though, not just for work purposes, but just as making me a better individual. And this skill is really going to help healthcare professionals because you do need to have patience with your patients. Not everybody has, I guess, the well-being to be right then and there with your answers or the information that you might need. That's probably why they are a patient in the first place, you would have to guess. And as for social care or social workers, you could be working with very young children. They don't understand the gravity of the situation, or maybe they don't understand it at all. So you need to have a lot of patience with those people, obviously. I plan to develop it. I think I just need to be more aware in the moment. When I am like speaking to, say, my coworkers and I'm losing my patience with them, or even a customer who's not ordering fast enough, I think I just need to be aware in that moment and calm myself down, realize it's not the end of the world, it's not that big of a deal, and everything's going to be okay. My middle trait, I had a couple of ties between cultural competency, active listening, and empathy. And I think out of the three of those that were a tie, I want to focus on empathy right now, because I rated this skill as a 7 because, like I said before, there's times where I just jump way too quick to a conclusion or something about somebody's situation, and maybe I won't have the most empathy for them in that moment. Or sometimes I think I can be pretty self-centered too, and so say if somebody's in a situation and it's impacting me negatively, I'll have less empathy for them naturally, just because I can be a little self-centered. Once again, how does this skill help healthcare professionals or health professionals, social workers? You obviously need to have empathy, especially if you are a social worker or a health professional with your patients. Say you are a social worker, you're going to have empathy for their stories. They're going to come to you, they're going to need help, no matter what the situation may be, since they come from very vast and different situations, but you're going to have empathy with it no matter what, so you're able to provide quality help for them. So developing this one further, once again, I don't want to give the same answer, but once again, I feel like I need to be more aware in the moment and maybe check myself and be like, hey, take a step back, Madison. Are you like overreacting? Are you being selfish here? With that one, I guess I could even utilize maybe a friend. Say I'm in a conversation with multiple people, I could have a friend step in and tell me like, hey, yeah, check yourself, rethink the situation. But it kind of falls along the same lines as how I was talking about my patience issue. And then my strongest trait was advocacy, like I kind of detailed earlier. I feel like I advocate for a lot of different things, and I'm very strong, and I'm very outspoken about it. I go on social media a lot, and I'm just always speaking out about issues, making sure that it's known. And I like to attend peaceful protests whenever I can, stuff like that. This skill helps professionals because I think a lot of the issues that come from individuals who are in need of like social work, it comes from issues that need advocacy. Say somebody's coming to a social worker and they have an issue with education, they're not doing very well in school, maybe they don't have access to it. Well, that's an issue in itself that you could advocate for, and those social workers, they're going to see these types of issues maybe more than anybody else. So if anything, they're in a very good position to advocate for others. And then discuss how I plan to develop this skill further. I don't think I really need to develop it further, other like quality-wise. I could, do a quantity thing and just keep on doing it, which I do fully plan to do in the future, especially now, considering how things are in the political climate and everything that's going down. I mean, I have my own opinions, so I do fully plan to continue that. But I think what I'm doing is good work, and I'm pretty proud of that because, especially in these times, it's hard for some people to step up and give their opinion like that. So, truthfully, I don't think I really need to improve this skill way too much. As for that, though, all of these skills are obviously very, very important for anybody that's a health professional. Some of them I just happen to have a greater understanding or greater grasp of. Overall, I think people should work towards maintaining these traits as best as they can or improving them to get them to that 10th spot as much as they can, and it's a lifelong learning investment, I think. And I also believe that having these traits applies to people other than those that are just in health professional fields. Like I applied it to my situation. I'm a shift lead at Panda Express, but yet I utilize these skills every single day. And the better I get at them, the better of a worker I am. So thank you for listening to my assignment. Have a good night.